Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be reviewing the Cle De Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. This is brand new on the market, a new foundation release for Cle De Peau. They did release the matte version of this last year, but this is the new natural version. It comes in this beautifully luxurious packaging. I really like how hefty it is when you pay for luxury makeup. Sometimes you do like it just to feel a little more luxe, and this packaging is just beautiful. It's quite simple, but it is elegant in my opinion. And yeah, it just comes off. It's a pump foundation. I love that about it. It is also 35 milliliters or 1.1 fluid ounces, so it is a little more product than the standard foundation. And it is good for 2 years, which is kind of exciting. Most foundations are only good for 1 year. So you want to get the most out of your foundation for sure. So I'm really excited to be reviewing this. I can't believe it released in Canada like first. Usually we do not get first launches. I also paid $170 for this. I can't remember if I said that. So it is obviously a more expensive foundation. This is kind of a foundation skincare hybrid. I will read you a little bit about what it says on the Cle De Peau website. A naturally radiant finish that lasts for 24 hours. The exquisite result of a skincare foundation hybrid. Intensely hydrating, it improves skin condition with continuous use, seamlessly glides onto the skin for flawless application. Discover natural perfection. Again, this is a skincare foundation hybrid. So I kind of thought this would be similar to the Chanel Sublimage. Obviously, these are more pricey, but they do say you will notice benefits with continuous use. So when I look at the Cle De Peau website, it does say that it has an SPF 25. On my bottle, it does not say anything about containing an SPF. We have very strict laws here in Canada regarding sunscreen on makeup, so I'm assuming that's why. If you live in the US, it probably will mention something about the SPF, but there is no label on this foundation saying that it has an SPF. Enough about the foundation, let's get into the application and wear test. I am going to be doing a 12-hour wear test. I forgot to mention it is 9 a.m. currently, so I'm going to wear this for 12 hours so you can see how this makeup looks at the end of the day. Especially when you are spending so much money on a foundation, I think that is very important. So if you want to see my full review and wear test of the new Cle De Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural, just stay tuned. And before I get into the application, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave your comments down below, like the video if you like it, and let's get right into the application. I have gone ahead and concealed my under eyes because I prefer to do concealer before foundation. I got the shade 030. I'm about a light to medium warm tone. This does look a little darker than I thought, and I feel like it might be a little too cool tone for me, but we'll just go ahead and see. And I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the review. So I'm going to start by shaking it because you always want to shake your foundations first. And then I am just going to go ahead and apply it onto a little glass palette. So, wow, you actually get a decent pump amount, like a decent amount of foundation pumps out with one pump. You can see it's running down the palette, so this is a more runny foundation. Again, it's infused with skincare, so I'm assuming it's going to be more of that like serum type foundation similar to the Chanel Sublimage. So we will see how it goes. The color actually looks like it might work perfectly, so I'm just going to start out with that pump because that is quite a decent amount of foundation. And I'm going to use a damp beauty blender just because that is my preferred method with every foundation. I am also not wearing any primer underneath this today because I wanted to test out the foundation itself without having any primer kind of manipulate it a little bit. It has a little bit of a fragrance to it, but it doesn't smell like a fragrance. It just smells a bit like the Cle De Peau skincare. If you own the foundation, I'm assuming this is just kind of the fragrance that they put on all their foundations, but it's not offensive in any way. It's quite light. Okay, so with that one pump, it's actually not going on as kind of dewy as I assumed it would, being a skincare infused foundation. It looks really nice and natural. It looks like a velvet on the skin, I would say. It's not sitting in any dry patches on my skin or emphasizing any lines or anything like that. And I would say the coverage, I have gone ahead and used that full pump. I would say the coverage is, with the one pump, light to medium. It leans a little more medium than it does light, but I can still see like freckles around here and a little bit of pigmentation. I still have a little bit of redness around my nose. That's not something that really bugs me. and this is what I would wear on a daily basis. But again, from the description, I thought this was going to be a little more dewy looking. Okay, I really love the coverage. This is something that's kind of like my perfect coverage. Like I said, it leans towards that light to medium, and it's sitting on the skin, like I said, really beautifully. It's not emphasizing any texture, especially in the front here. With a more radiant foundation, I would worry about that because obviously if it's radiant, sometimes it has the tendency to emphasize texture on your skin. And also if a foundation is more radiant, sometimes it can look a little more like makeup on the skin. But this is actually looking really beautiful. It looks very, very like extremely skin-like. One of the most natural foundations on the skin in a way that, again, it's not too glowy, it's not too matte where it dries down. It's very much a velvet finish at this point right now. Again, doesn't look patchy anywhere. It applied really nice and smoothly and evenly. I might try, I'm really happy with this level, but because I want to test if it is buildable just for people who would probably prefer a medium coverage, I'm going to go ahead and apply, I'm trying to get just a quarter of a pump, just a tiny bit extra just to see. It probably more was like half because I don't think a quarter of a pump will do much for me to test its buildability. So I'll just try that. Again, I kind of don't want to add more, but I'll just add it in any areas where I have a little more pigment just to see. Okay, so I definitely get a bit more of a perfected look. I can still see a bit of pigmentation, but this is definitely more of a medium coverage. And it built up really nice. It, again, doesn't look heavy in anywhere. It doesn't look unnatural. It's not emphasizing any texture on my skin, not emphasizing the pores. Sometimes I find if you go in with too much foundation, it can start emphasizing pores, but it's not at all. And I do like that I can still see some of my natural skin texture through this, like, again, the pigmentation, because it just looks more skin-like to me. And I actually think this match is pretty decent. I thought it would be a little too cool toned and possibly a bit too deep, but I think it matches pretty well. It hasn't oxidized yet. It looks really good in the center of my forehead where I have some texture issues as well. So right now, I'm very happy with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off my makeup. I might as well just do it on camera. I'm gonna keep things kind of more, I'm not gonna do anything too crazy because again, this is all about the foundation, not the other makeup products. I'm just gonna go in with my Chantecaille Real Bronze in Cyrena with a Rephr 22 and just bronze up the skin a little bit. Again, this is that gel texture, so it's gonna meld into the skin nice, which I think will work with this more like radiant foundation or apparently radiant foundation. Right now, not looking too radiant. I'm also going to take that bronzer and just apply a little bit to my lower lash line. I applied this bronzer on the top lid and then just applied the Chantecaille Copper Mermaid Eye Color and then also used my Chanel highlighter over top. And this is just a really easy eye look. And then obviously I applied mascara. I'm just going to bring a little bit of that to the lower lash line. A very easy breezy eye look that I love to do on a daily basis. I just went ahead and added a little bit of lower lash mascara, and moving to highlight, I'm going to take the Chanel Pearl du Lumiere. I'm going to take that on a Sonia G mini cheek and just blend it in. This again really melts into the skin the more you buff it in, really nice. And then for blush, I'm just going to go neutral and go with my Dior Rouge blush in the shade 459 Charnel. Just for a pop of color on the cheeks. All the products are blending really well on top of this foundation without me having powdered it, so that's really nice. It looks really good so far. I'm not going to apply any powder or setting spray to at least start out because I want to see how this wears on its own. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the look taking the Dior lip liner pencil in the shade 100 Nude Look and then top it off with my Chantecaille lip veil in the shade Honey Pot, which is like the perfect nude combo. Okay, the makeup look is complete, so let me go over how I feel about the foundation now that the rest of my makeup is on, because sometimes that can just make a difference. When you first apply foundation, sometimes you don't really know exactly how you feel about it. So looking at it in the mirror, it looks really, really gorgeous. Like I said, it's still looking like that very nice light to medium coverage. I did build it up to be more on the medium side. It looks really, really nice on the skin. It's very smoothing. It's very natural looking. I would call this a natural velvet finish. I don't think it's radiant at all at the moment. I have not powdered or anything like that. And even in front of these lights, I don't think it looks too radiant on my skin. It's doing a really good job of blurring the appearance of texture. It looks really natural on my skin, which I love. I don't believe it has oxidized at all either. Powders blended really easily on top of it. I just think it looks like such a gorgeous foundation to start off with. This is really reminding me of the new Chanel Sublimage. This one might look a little more perfecting for whatever reason. And I don't mean perfecting in the way where it added more coverage. I just mean it's very smoothing on the skin. It looks really nice. It's not too nourishing or anything like that. Like I said, it doesn't look dewy at all. I just think it looks really pretty. It's not sitting funny anywhere. No, it's not emphasizing any dry spots at the moment. Again, I've only had this on for such a short amount of time. Maybe this will get a bit more hydrating throughout the day and just remain really comfortable. So I will be back in a few hours for my first check-in. All right, I'm back from my 4-hour check-in. It is now just after 1 o'clock, and I applied this foundation at 9. I think I forgot to mention the time last time, but I did finish my makeup at 9 o'clock this morning. So it has been 4 hours. So I have gone out, and I also wanted to make sure I got out to look at this in different lighting situations. So I've looked at this like in the bathroom, obviously in front of the ring light that I have currently. I've looked at it outside. I've looked at it in the car, which you know is the worst mirror ever. So looking at it currently, I think it looks unreal. It looks amazing. I am so excited about this foundation, and I am so happy with it so far. Obviously, since I've been wearing this for 4 hours, I don't even want to say it looks worn in. I actually love how it looks right now. I really like how it looked initially applied, but sometimes I actually like when a foundation, like I like how it looks after a few hours, because I think it really melts and sinks into the skin and it starts looking a bit more skin-like and not so much like makeup atop your skin. And I think this is doing a really great job. It hasn't sunk into any fine lines or anything like that. My forehead still looks really nice. It's not emphasizing any texture anywhere. I think it still looks really smooth. And I maybe have like a slight glow, but again, I would not call this radiant. I would call it, well, I guess it does say that it's the Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. That is exactly what I say. It's a very natural finish. So I really love how this is looking so far. Again, really perfecting and smoothing. I love how this looked outside too, just in natural daylight. I thought it looked so pretty. And again, it didn't look heavy or look like makeup, which can be a trick with foundations, especially when you're looking at it in direct sunlight. They can start looking heavy on the skin and you can notice that it looks like makeup. But I think this one looks amazing. So I'm really happy with it so far. I don't feel like my skin is moisturized or hydrated, but it feels very comfortable and lightweight on the skin. So that is my 4-hour check-in so far, and I will be back in another probably 4 hours to do an 8-hour check-in. I am back for my final check-in. I didn't quite make it to 12 hours. I am half an hour short, but I just couldn't do it because I go to bed at like 9 because I'm up at 5 in the morning. So you're getting as close to 12 hours as we can get. It's been like 11 and a half hours. But looking at the makeup, I am obviously a bit more shiny. You can probably tell. I did not powder this foundation, so I am incredibly impressed with how it held up. It is not separating anywhere on my skin. There is absolutely no separation. It is really nice. There is no fading away. I am getting, like I said, just a little bit, I wouldn't even call it oily. It's just because I have lights on and it's getting darker outside. So it does look like I'm more shiny in camera than I am in person. But I definitely can see a little bit of shine. That is nothing that really bugs me. I like when I have a little bit of a glow to my skin anyways. But I am so impressed with this foundation. I can't wait to test it out more. I love that the coverage is a light to medium coverage, probably more on the medium side, especially because I built it up. Personal preference, I will only be using one pump of this foundation. For me personally, I do not think you need more. I think it looked gorgeous with just the one pump. I love how natural of a finish this is. This is, like I said, very much a natural velvet finish on my skin personally. I think if you did have oilier skin, it would definitely give you more of that radiance. And I love that this has skincare benefits in it as well. Obviously, that is why there is a higher price point. The texture of this foundation was gorgeous as well. It really reminded me of the Chanel Sublimage foundation in that it was that serum-like texture. This is kind of claiming to be that kind of serum-like texture as well. In comparison to the Chanel Sublimage, I would say this is less radiant than that one. So the Chanel Sublimage, Again, it really maintains its radiance well throughout the day where you don't look greasy by the end of the day, but both of them hold up really well. You get that medium coverage. What else do I have to say about this foundation? I truly am loving it. I'm going to test it out for the next few days, definitely, because I want to see if this remains consistent and how much I love it. Sometimes off of first impression, you really love something, and then a few days later, you maybe aren't getting the same results. I loved that on initial application, you could instantly see pores and texture blurred on the skin. I love that I never had to touch it up. I didn't have to apply powder. I do think this would wear a little longer if I did apply powder. I also think this would be beautiful if I was maybe wearing this for a more special occasion. I would go in with my Sisley powder as a primer and then put this on top. I think this would look absolutely flawless if I did that. I just think this looks really balanced and healthy looking on my skin. Not too matte, not too glowy. It's kind of that perfect in between, which I think will be great for spring and summer because you look perfected, but you don't look overdone. So I love a foundation that just polishes you and looks like your skin, but better. And you just look like flawless, but not flawless in like a fake way, in a porcelain doll way where you just look cakey and you have thick coverage. You look flawless in that it's your skin, but better. So I think you can tell I'm really enjoying this foundation. I will definitely follow up on this one. So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know if you plan on picking this up or if you have a favorite Cle De Peau foundation. I can't speak now. Let me know if you've tried the matte version because I would love to know if I should pick it up. So I will see you guys in my next video.